Learn Grammar Basic. Introduction. People did not invent English grammar. They described it. Grammar is a description of logic. It is a description of a logical thinking process. Human beings first uttered distinctive sounds to convey thoughts. Later, people made graphical representations of those sounds, a written language. Finally, people analyzed the language to determine the patterns and variations. That final step is grammar and analysis of the way a language functions. Grammar gives us an insight into the working of language. It is the art of putting the right words in right places. Noun. A noun is a word that represents a person, a place, or a thing. A thing in this definition can be a physical entity or it can be an abstract idea. Examples: Rohit, Taj Mahal, car. Noun as subject. Example: the plumber fixes the dripping pipes. Explanation: plumber is the subject of the sentence. Example: Michael Jackson was a popular pop singer. Explanation: Michael Jackson is the subject of this sentence. Michael Jackson is the name of a person. Noun as direct object. Example: Mr. Chan washed the car. Explanation: car is the direct object of the verb washed. Example: the authorities commended Roberta. Explanation: Roberta is the direct object of the verb commended. Noun as indirect object. Example: I sent Sophia the book. Explanation: Sophia is the indirect object. Example: I bought the dog a kennel. Explanation: dog is the indirect object. Noun as object of a preposition. Example: he pulled the cart to the field. Explanation: the preposition is to and the object of that preposition is the noun field. Example: from her perspective, the meeting was a success. Explanation: the preposition is from and the object of that preposition is the noun perspective. Predicate noun. Example: I am a student. Explanation: the subject of the sentence is I and the predicate noun is student. Example: Mr. Duncan is a musician. Explanation: Mr. Duncan is the subject and musician is the predicate noun. A positive noun. Example: my sister Susan is in town for the reunion. Explanation: in the sentence above, my sister Anne is the subject of the sentence and Susan is the appositive. Example: the insect, a large cockroach, is crawling across the kitchen table. Explanation: the insect is the subject of this sentence and a large cockroach is the appositive. Noun as possessive modifier. Example: the town's sewer system is in jeopardy. Explanation: the word town is a noun. Towns is possessive case. The town possesses the sewer system. Example: Rohan's car is at home. Explanation: the word Rohan is a noun. In the sentence above, the word Rohan's car identifies which is at home. Rohan's is possessive case. Rohan possesses the car. Noun functioning as an adjective. Example: the water pump is broken. Explanation: the word water is a noun, but in this application, it functions as an adjective that describes the kind of pump. Example: I hear that apple juice is a healthy drink. Explanation: the word apple is a noun, but in this application, it functions. Examples: walk, paint, think, grow, sing. The infinitive form of the verb is a compound verb made up of the preposition to and the basic form of the verb. Examples: to walk, to paint, to think, to grow, to sing. To form the present participle, add ing, ing, to the basic form of the verb. Examples: walking, painting, thinking, growing, singing. The past form of verbs is a little trickier. If the verb is regular or weak, you can create the past form by adding ed, d or t to the present form. When a basic form ends in y, you change the y to I. Examples: walked, painted, thought, grew, sang. The past participle of regular verbs is usually identical to the past form, while the past participle of irregular verbs is often different. Examples: walked, painted, thought, grown, sung. Irregular verbs form the past participle and the past form without ed or t, and frequently their past form and past participle are different. For example, the past form of the verb break is broke and the past participle is broken. Modal verbs. All auxiliary verbs except be, do and have are called modals. Unlike the other auxiliary verbs, modals only exist in their helping form. They cannot act alone as the principal verb in a sentence. The modal verbs are can, could, may, might, must, shall, should, ought to, will, would. Examples: can, he can speak French. Can you help me? Could I borrow your DVD? Could you say it again more slowly? May I have another cup of tea? You may leave the table once you have finished your meal. Might, they might not come to the party. Must, you must look good for your interview. We must say goodbye now. Ought to, we ought to employ an accountant. Shall I help you with your luggage? Shall I do that for you? Should, I think we should check everything again. Sensex should soar next month. Will, I'll get back to you first thing on Monday. Profits will increase next year. Would you prefer tea or coffee? Would you like to play cricket this Sunday? Tenses. Tenses can show the time of a verb's action or being. The verb ending is changed to show roughly what time it is referring to. Time can be split into 3 periods: the present, the past, and the future. The tenses are simple, continuous, and perfect. Simple present. The simple present tense is used to discuss permanent situations and the frequency of events. Example 1. I do my homework every day. Present continuous tense. When we talk about events that are actually happening now, we use the present continuous tense. Example: I am going to market. He is driving car. Present perfect tense. The present perfect tense is used to talk about a past time, which has very strong meaning for the present. Example 1. I have seen that movie 5 times. 2. He has never travelled by train. Present perfect continuous tense. The present perfect continuous tense is often used with, for, or since to describe how long something has been happening up to now. Example 1. She has been working at that company for 4 years. 2. What have you been doing for the last 30 minutes? Simple past tense. The simple past tense is used to talk about actions that happened at a specific time in the past. Examples: last year, I travelled to America. Did you have dinner last night? Past continuous tense. We use the past continuous tense to describe past action over a period of time. Example 1. I was studying while she was preparing dinner. 2. What were you doing when the earthquake started? Past perfect tense. The past perfect tense is used to go further back in time and when we are already talking about the past. It can make it clear that something had already happened at the time we were talking about. Example 1. I had never seen such a beautiful beach before I went to Goa. 2. George had driven many cars before he received his driving license. Past perfect continuous tense. The past perfect continuous tense is used to talk about longer situations that continued up to the moment in the past we were talking about. Example 1. They had been talking for over an hour before Ria arrived. 2. Peter was tired because he had been jogging. Simple future tense. Simple future tense. We sometimes use the simple present form to discuss future events, especially when we talk about official events that happen at a set time, such as timetables, meetings, programs, etc. Example 1. Are you going to meet Mona tonight? 2. I will send you the information when I get it. Future continuous tense. Future continuous tense. The present continuous tense is often used to ask about and discuss future agreements or plans with just the addition of a future time, but only when these agreements are certain. Example 1. I will be waiting for you when your train arrives. 2. We will be leaving here at 8:30 p.m. Future perfect tense. You can use the future perfect to form or to say that something will have happened by a certain time in the future. Example: this time next year, I will have passed my graduation. Using going to. Using going to. We say something is going to happen when it has already been planned. Where are you going on holiday this year? Answer: we are going to Europe. Using shall, will. Using shall, will. When we give information about the future or predict future events that are not certain, we usually use shall, will. Example, question: who do you think will win the cricket match? Answer: I'm not sure, but I think India.